Hey guys, how you doing? Right here again. If you'd like to subscribe to my channel, it's Nitro Keo Show. Well, I haven't put a video out in about a month. The last video I put out was of me flying this helicopter, a complete video of it being flown inverted. I've been struggling to get some good cameraman back out to the field so we can get some more videos of doing some more stuff with this helicopter. I apologize to the guys out there that are still waiting for this helicopter to be done in a video. It's not easy to film these things, guys. It really isn't. I can film them, but I can't fly it and film it at the same time. I've gone through quite a few different people, and it's just, I think somebody really has to develop an idea of your flying style to begin with, to be able to know and anticipate what you're going to do and be able to track the helicopter. It's definitely not an easy thing to do, but hopefully we'll get some new videos out. I don't want to get off the beaten track of what we're going to talk about. I got quite a few subscribers that said, we've seen this flying, we've seen this helicopter in several other videos, but you've never really done a review on it. And this obviously is the Align Trex 500 Pro with the DFC head and the Beast-X flybarless unit. So I figured I'd do a little video today on it and talk a little bit about the flight characteristics of it, the power of it, the build of it, the build quality. So let's get started. For anybody who's built an Align Trex, you know they're basically all go together for the most part the same way, with the exception of the new the DFC heads, which are about 1,000 times easier to put together than the old heads. These literally take minutes to put together, a couple of minutes with some Loctite, and you're done. The old ones, because of the massive amount of parts and screws and everything, those would take you quite a while to do, not because of the hardness really of doing it, but of making sure and remembering everything, that, you know, Loctiting. So definitely these new heads are a lot easier to put together. As far as the rest of the helicopter, basically is the same as all the other builds. And the manual, you know, the manuals are basically all the same. They're black and white manuals, guys. What I like to do is always go through a manual a couple of times and read all the little small print stuff. You can actually take a yellow highlighter and highlight the important things, especially where it tells you to put Loctite. You do not want to miss out on putting Loctite where it's supposed to go on these things. Trust me, I know. I've had them blow apart at different times. So it's, like I said, it's a black and white manual, and it's pretty straightforward, even for probably a novice to put together. It really is pretty good detailed on where everything goes and how everything should be put together and everything should be tightened. So as far as the durability of this helicopter is phenomenal. The Align helicopters, I think, are the best out there for durability. They're just incredibly strong machines. One time I had on my 450 back here, I had a slight bend in the tail boom, so I had to change it. And when I did, I had an old E-Flite Blade 400 tail boom, and those tail booms were garbage. You could take them like this and go and just bend them like that. When I tried doing that with the Align 450 tail boom, I couldn't do it. I couldn't hold it out like that and bend it. I had to put it over my leg, over my knee, to actually bend this thing the rest of the way, guys. So they're very, very strong machines. And That's one very good thing about Align helicopters, is the durability and the strength of them. As far as the flight characteristics of this helicopter, I think are phenomenal. I think it handles incredible. It is extremely powerful. It is extremely fast and agile. I basically wandered away from the 450s now. I use those just to mess around a little bit. This has become my primary helicopter. The 500 really is, in my opinion, the ultimate size helicopter. I know a lot of guys will jump up to the 6, 7, and 800s, mainly because they find that they're easier to fly with the big blades. The bigger the blades go out, the bigger the balance, the smoother it becomes, and the easier it becomes to fly. But also the parts price list goes way up. I've flown bigger helicopters. I don't notice any difference between a 500 and a 700 as far as the size. I think this, because of the blade size per the size of the frame and the body of this thing, the way it hovers and handles, it handles like a big machine. It feels like a 700 helicopter up there. But you still have the agility and the speed and the power of the 450 sizes. In this helicopter, I'm running a Thunder Power 2700 milliamp G8 Pro Force 70C burst, and this battery gives this thing some nasty, nasty power, guys. Some big time power. It surprised me, especially pitch pumps, inverted pitch pumps, and inverted pitch pumps while pirouetting upside down. I mean, incredible. I don't run a satellite receiver on this. I've never felt the need to. Some guys put satellites on 500s. If you place your receiver where I put mine, guys, right here in the back, it's not obstructed by any carbon fiber. I've gone up inverted, pirouetting very high, and I've never lost any signals. So I don't really feel there's a need to have a satellite on this size helicopter. And I've gone out very far, and I know people are going to say, well, they recommend it. Well, you don't need it. Not if you... Now, if you're going to take your receiver and bury it underneath inside here, guys, yes, definitely I would think about running satellite receivers. But if you have it in the back by the boom and it's exposed, no, you don't need any satellites on this. I ran the Beast-X with that because I already had that receiver. But as far as, like I said, the durability to me is number one. I've had this thing come down inverted full bore into the ground and minimal amounts of damage. Very, very, very strong, durable helicopters, guys, Align. And really what I like is when you get these kits where everything is in the kit, they really have optimized all the power ratings for you already. The proper amount of, the speed control, the servos, the motor power, everything is really, the gear train, the amount of teeth on the gear and the pinions, everything has really been optimized for you. This thing is my favorite helicopter. It is just a massive powerhouse, guys, and hopefully I can get a video out soon of demonstrating it. And I don't know if a video will actually show what it is in real and seeing in person. The parts availability is, you can get them in your local hobby shops. You can get them online. Very reasonably priced for the 500. A couple of booms, $11. Main shaft, you get two for maybe 10, 12 bucks. The blades are reasonably priced. And the rest of it. I've never broken a lot on these guys in crashes. Most of the things I've noticed that will go bad on these in a crash is sometimes you'll bust the canopy, maybe not. Usually the main blades will take the brunt of the damage. I've had some bad crashes where I didn't even changed the feathering shaft, and the main shaft had just a slight bend in it. But usually the tail boom, brake a skid, a main blade, or a bent main shaft. And other than that, not a whole heck of a lot, you know, depending how you can hit your throttle hold when it's coming down. But as far as the durability, like I said, I rate that perfect. As far as the speed, you know, perfect. And the agility and the handling, I think, is phenomenal. You really have to have these set up the way you need it to be set up, guys, to perform the way that you want it to perform. I know a lot of people have saying they're moving away, they're going to different brands. A lot of them going to this guy back here, the Goblin. People have asked me to do a versus on the Trex 500 and the Goblin. I don't know if I ever will. Maybe. You know, I've tried to stray away from doing those versus videos, guys, because you know what? They're totally different helicopters. They're different sizes. The durability, the differences, the frame, the way the gears and everything, they're totally different helicopters, totally different companies, just because, you know, it's just like a Ford or a Chevy. You know, is one better than the other? It's all in what you like, guys. Somebody might look at this helicopter and say, I just can't stand the way that thing looks, but I look at a Saab Goblin and I think that's the most beautiful machine I've ever seen. So there's a lot of different factors involved, guys. There's visual, how it looks to you. There's price-wise of what you can spend. There's a lot of different things involved. Most guys in this hobby jump a lot, you know, from helicopter to helicopter company, switching and trying to find a better one or this or that. If you find one and it works for you and you really like it, then stick with it, guys. Like I said, I have a Saab Goblin back here, and I don't have any regrets of buying or building it. I love it and I like it, and I like this helicopter equal. So I don't know if it's too difficult to try to say, is one better than the other? Is one more... Obviously, the durability is going to be different on them. The parts quality is going to be different. The expense of them, the way they're... I mean, everything is totally different. So there's a lot of companies out there now. There's Saab, there's Align, there's Gaui, there's Mikado. You know, there's a lot of different companies and a lot of different competition and everything. So it really comes down to what you want to spend, what visually is appealing to your eye, and what you like. So anyways, that's just a little review on this thing. I don't regret buying this. I would definitely buy another one. I would be excited to know when Align is going to build another Trex Pro 500 and what changes they're going to make to it. I would definitely buy another one. And like I said, one big thing with these guys, before you build these helicopters, I know these kits come with it, but always have, I use a medium strength blue Loctite. Don't forget the Loctite metal to metal, guys. If you don't, these things are going to vibrate loose and it's going to result in a crash. It might not result in a crash your first or second or third time out, but eventually they will vibrate loose, and it's going to result in some sort of an accident. So always remember the Loctite, guys. There's no need for any red Loctite on these. They blew a little on the first couple of threads, and that's all you need, and that'll hold it together. You don't want to put too much, because if you put too much, you're going to have problems getting stuff apart after. But I found that the configuration that they made with this helicopter is a very nice setup. It's got a 70 amp speed control on it, and it stays very cool as far as I can tell after 3 minutes of hard 3D. You can put your hand on it, it's still cool. The motor stays cool, the MX motor, which has that fan in the end of the motor there that helps to cool it, the radial fan. But a very solidly built, very well built helicopter. And I like that they put the extra little lock back here on the boom where it's going into the tail boom casing to give you a little extra tightness and locked in on that boom, other than just having the four that hold in the boom casing back there, the tail boom casing. I put an extra strut brace back here just to stiffen it up a little bit more. Those are good and bad. In crashes, sometimes they can result in you breaking a strut because the strut doesn't have as much twist to it because it's stiffer, so you might end up breaking a strut. But it does give you a little bit more stiffness back there. You know, and it comes with the carbon fiber fins and everything, the torque tube. The servos are very quick and set up nice for this helicopter. Like I said, I think they do a nice job piecing everything together, taking the guesswork out of it. When you build these helicopters like something back here, you have to really know what you're doing as far as picking out motors and servos and speed controls and matching everything up. That's more of an advanced build. Guys have asked me as far as, you know, when I'm building a helicopter, I basically do everything myself. I do all the build myself, I do all the Loctiting myself, I do all the Beast X setup myself, and if there's any programming to the speed control, I'll do that all myself if you're using Talons. I've rebuilt motors myself, changed shafts in the motors, changed bearings. I do all my own soldering. I don't rely on anybody for any kind of help, guys. I do everything myself, and when you do it yourself, you know it's done right. And if something happens, you don't have anybody to blame but yourself. But I think as far as a build, I'm a very accomplished builder. Everything is done by me, 100%. And that's really the way it should be. But hopefully we'll get some videos of this thing out there, guys. Let me pop the canopy off it and show you a little bit of the internals of this helicopter. I have two Scorpion battery hold downs here, plus the Velcro on here. Alright, let me take this. Well, actually, let me take this off of the pod here, and I'll give you a close-up of a little bit more of the helicopter. And try not to shake it and make you guys dizzy. Okay, the servo setup on this is very simple, guys. They mount, the ailerons mount on the outside here. Very quick, very easy to change servos out. Like I said, my receiver is back here, so I don't find any need for a satellite. I have the upgraded canopy locks here. The other part of them is in my other canopy, the screws that go in. Make sure you always have everything, your wires always tied up, guys, so they're not getting involved in anything. These are good to have, especially hard 3D. I have two of these on there holding the battery, and Velcro here, and a full strip of Velcro on the battery. Okay. But the head is very simplistic. You know, your two pitch rods here, and then you got your rods for your servos, your links. Very easy to change out servos on this helicopter, guys. I've got my speed control out here. I don't like them buried underneath where they tell you. I've never put mine underneath on the 450. That's probably why mine stay so cool, because they're on the side where the air passes right through them. But the servos are very simple to change out. If you strip one out or whatever, they go right in directly. No big mystery of how to pull them out. Here's the strut support back here, and they do come obviously with the carbon fiber fins back there. But very smooth with the torque tube, and that's a close-up of it. But very strong, very narrow design. And a very simple, easy and quick to work on changing parts out. It's actually a pleasure to work on this helicopter. So if you're interested, that's my review on it, guys, and hope you like it. Very, very fast, very agile, and very powerful if you're running the right setup and the right batteries on this thing. So anyways, thanks for watching, and I hope you got something out of this.